This is Pete Feenstra on Friday the... What is it, chaps? Help me out on this. 29th of July 2011. Talking to the Loutex legend that is Sherman Robertson. Hey Sherman, great to have you here at the Boom Boom Club. We haven't seen each other for about 8 years. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here, Pete.
Explain to everybody what Loutex is. That's the first concept we've got to get out of the way.
Well, Loutex is, I was born in Louisiana, raised in Texas, so that's why I said Loutex Productions.
Yeah. And your playing style and your singing style is a mixture of all of that. Is that fair?
That's where it is. It's all from that monkey bottom.
Yeah. Bit of swamp, bit of this, bit of that. But for a guy that went to the very top of Fender Stratocaster, guitarist, you were in the Fender Stratocaster film, the book,
yes,
all that kind of stuff. But you had a wide-ranging background, which is involved in all sorts of things, including people like Rock and Dopsy.
Yes.
People, a whole bunch of Cajun people. Do you want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, I was with Clifton for a while.
Clifton Chenier, of course.
Did some things with Terrence Simeon and and Paul Simon.
Yeah, which I'll come to that in a minute. Okay. But were those the guys that were kind of working around the circuit where you were back then, or how did you hook up with them?
How did I hook up? But first I hooked up with Clifton Chenier because my dad and Clifton was raised together.
Right. Got it.
And what happened is I moved back to Louisiana because I wanted to get into my roots.
Yeah.
And when I moved back, Clifton says, "Hey man, I'll have you. Come on, I need you." So I got with Clifton. And then from Clifton,
did you play much Zydeco and that kind of stuff before?
No, I never played any Zydeco.
Oh really?
But my mother would play a little bit on Saturdays. And I said, "What kind of music is that you're playing?" And she said, "That's Clifton." So I was familiar with just a little entity of it. But when I moved to Louisiana, I got into the whole spectrum of the whole thing.
And you kind of find that on your doorstep, I suppose, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because what happened, man, I started getting calls and guys says, "Man, there's a new guy in town, Zydeco guy." They didn't assimilate me with blues, but at the time it was Zydeco. And I was a fresh guy with the fresh things coming into Zydeco, so it just made it more interesting. Yeah.
So that was coming to the whole thing from a different perspective. Really.
Right.
So how many years did you do that kind of stuff with all those guys before you obviously hooked up with Paul Simon?
Well, the thing, I did it for about 6 years before we hooked up with Paul. Because I was with Rock and Dopsy then.
Yeah. And then you did work with Paul. You worked on the million-selling album.
The Graceland album.
Graceland album, and that must have taken you all around the globe, I guess.
All around, everywhere, man, everywhere.
Was it a fun band?
It was a fun band because it was all about rhythms and funk and soul and crossing and mixing. And it was a beautiful thing.
And did any of that kind of stuff have any influence on when you start recording in your own right?
It did because when you cross rhythms and you collectively put them in one pot, it just jubilates a bigger entity for what you're doing. That's
But when you actually broke big in Europe, which is what you did, which a lot of inverted commas blues guys do, it was kind of Belgium. I think it was some big festival.
It was Belgium, Peer Festival.
Peer Festival, that was the one,
And when we got on stage, 10,000 people in the street. It was like, here it is. This is what I'm trying.
But right back then, you were playing blues more.
I was playing blues because I came back into blues around 87, 88. I said, what about me? And then I got back into the blues, and then I came over for that Peer Festival.
And
then that's when I met Mike Murray.
The whole spiel. And that was back in the early 90s, I think.
Yes, 92.
Some shows back then. And you recorded I'm the Man, which was a great album. Going Back Home, which was a few years later.
That's right.
And you've had one out since, the live one, Guitar Man. Any plans for anything new?
I got a new one, but where I'm stepping at right now, Pete, and I want to be very clear about this. I'm went into my gospel roots as well.
You did?
So
that's good.
I'm taking a journey there, and then now I'm back. So
You're gonna mix the two together.
I'm gonna mix the three together. I'm gonna do some Zydeco, some blues, and some gospel.
Wow! And you're gonna write stuff, or you're gonna collaborate with somebody?
We're gonna collaborate. I've got 3 writers that we're gonna just.
So this will be a kind of third musical departure in your career, really. Yeah. Not for you, but for the fans.
For the fans, because I think they need to go somewhere else.
I think you've done what you've done in that respect. Were you ever kind of frustrated at the time of your success with those albums I just mentioned that there was a kind of commercial input there? Was that bugging you? Or?
Well, it bugged me after I got the record done because I heard someone from the studio say, "Great sound." Someone was there recording. I think it was anyway. Some piano player was there. He said, "Man," he said, "I thought I heard Robert Cray," and I went, "Oh no."
Oh.
But it was a good thing. But at the time, I just I couldn't fathom.
You were cutting your own deals. I guess you were.
But it's been good for me, and I've kind of revamped from that, so I'm okay.
I understand that. But one of the things people think of you and when they come and see a show is you're a very, very flamboyant on stage guy.
Yeah.
Where did that all come from? Is that your natural exuberant self, or did you learn that from T-Bone Walker and people like that?
No, that's just me and my mom and my dad and my family. We're all aggressive, kind of just
go for it,
you know, and want to give people their money's worth and more. You
Yeah,
know, and the guys,
the whole concept of a show.
The whole concept of a show.
Yeah,
Because when I went to see Freddie and those guys, it was more or less of a show.
Yeah.
It wasn't just playing the music.
And was Freddie King and all those people, were they the people that influenced you, apart from what we've talked about?
Listen, man, at 12 years old, my dad took me to see Freddie. I never forgot. He was the most huge guy.
Wow.
But he was charismatic, and when he sang, he just delivered. He was, you know.
And that was in Louisiana?
That was in Texas.
That was in Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you were in Houston for a while.
Yeah, I was raised there. And when I saw that, man, and then I said to myself,
that's part of what you're going to be.
Yeah.
But would you say that when you cut on the man, was that when you found your own voice? Not just, I know your solo career, but was that when you found out who you were and what you wanted to do?
Yeah, it was because Mike, when he heard me play in Pier in Belgium, he said, I hear some other stuff in you, but at the time I didn't hear it. I was just into performing and just playing, and so he heard a voice that was in the voice. And as developing that, and then I arrived to where I'm at now.
Yeah, and also the other guy I saw you at the time was Bruce Iglar, of course, Alligator. You're pretty close to signing him on top.
But I was. The deal was on the table, man, but we just didn't, you know.
Okay, well, we really hope you can get some more product. We hope you get another album out pretty soon.
I will.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, and everybody's wanting one, you know. So
it's great that you've got a great band. You've got Jamie Little out there and Jules and everybody, and we're looking forward to the show at Boom Boom tonight.
Amen.
But are we going to see any festivals at all, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm going to France tomorrow. I'm going to Belgium next Sunday, Italy for 4 days. I got a bunch of stuff in the works.
The other thing I need to ask you about is you talked to me early on about Lucky Peterson and Michael Burks.
Oh yeah,
you playing with them?
We did a thing. We sit down at a festival actually in Arkansas. We said, you know what would be good, because we were all on the festival. So put 3 guys in the bus and just get down the road.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it was the guitar shooters, and that's what we are.
The guitar shooters?
The guitar shooters.
Oh,
and then they changed it.
Yeah.
Now it's the guitar slingers.
Oh, okay.
So it's Michael Burks, Lucky Peterson, and Sherman Robertson.
Sherman Robertson. And is that going to be, you going to record anything with it?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Or maybe a DVD or something?
A DVD, and I think Bruce Iglar is got the words. So
the thing came full circle.
Again.
Unbelievable.
This time I think I'll do it.
That's great. It's been Pete Feenstra talking to Sherman Robertson. Big thank you to Eric Harvey on the camera. Sherman, it's great to see you after all these years. Come out and see this guy, because he's the man.
Boom, boom, room.
Good afternoon. Hey Sherman.
How do you switch it off? How do you switch it